Hello, welcome to another edition of Prove All Things. Want to thank everybody joining us today, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X, or on the CGI Digital Network app on your phone, tablet, or television. Thank you for joining with us live, and for everyone else, we appreciate you listening or watching to this later as a podcast. I'm joined with co-host Mike James. How you doing, Mike?
Hey Jeff, doing well. Good to see you here. We're already almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, it's amazing how as we're older, how quickly these years go by.
Yeah, definitely. I think as you get older, you've lived more life, so that something relates to your brain is not experiencing much when you're little, so everything seems longer. But as we
Yeah.
get older,
Like, I think it's like when you're 8 years old, 1 year of your life is 1/8 of your life. Where like me, I'm 56, so 1 year of my life is 1/56th of my life.
yeah,
It's a much
right.
smaller percentage of my entire life as that I experience. So yeah. But hey,
You put it well. You put that makes it sound normal. Yeah.
yeah. So it's definitely that kind of phenomenon that we experience as you get older, which is kind of like almost like a snowball effect. You get older, and the time just keeps going quicker and quicker.
For
But
sure,
yeah, hey,
Yeah.
but I just got back from vacation this past week. Was on a Caribbean cruise. Got to visit St. Thomas and St. Nevis and different islands out in the Caribbean. It was very nice, relaxing. Just have a week off, and so I'm glad to be back. But I'm glad to be back to work because I love what we do here at the Church of God International, and happy to get back to it.
Yeah, me too, Jeff. Good to be back on the program here live today. We had a guest from New Zealand who had to scratch for today, but he will be on in the future. He's got some pretty interesting stuff to discuss. He's written a couple books, but I just want to let folks know that I'm going to be doing my monthly Bible study this Friday night. If anybody out there wants to join in on that, it's a monthly occurrence, usually the first Friday of each month. And it's about 8:30 p.m. Eastern time is when we begin that. Just shoot me an email and I can get you on my email list there. Also, just want to mention I'm teaching some classes for Common Faith Academy through the Common Faith Network. A bunch of independent Church of God groups coming together in that network. And I teach some classes for them. One of my classes is going to start running this Thursday. So if anyone wants to get in at the last minute, it deals with why God allows evil, pain, and suffering. Shoot me an email today, and I'll give you the information to get involved in that weekly class for about 8 weeks. Yeah.
All right, yeah, definitely. It's based on a book written by who wrote that book?
Bart Ehrman. He was a conservative Christian. He became agnostic, more like an atheist, I think now.
Yeah,
But I won't speak for him. But he gives reasons why he became agnostic, and it has a lot to do with his questions about why God allows evil, pain, and suffering. And then we try to answer his questions in the class and find biblical support to respond to his objections.
yeah. That's not what the program's about today, but I do know we have good reasons, and I look forward to people want to join your class and be able to share those reasons with other, or if you have you're not quite sure yourself, there are good biblical reasons to explain those things. So today's program is again one just put together at the last minute, but not without effort, because there's definitely effort in the program. Mike worked on it really hard yesterday, and what do we got to Mike today?
So Jeff, we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence today. And just a little background. Again, I worked for the government over 33 years. And right before I retired, Jeff, around 2019, this particular topic was becoming very important. It was a big buzzword around the agency I worked in. everybody was trying to learn as much as they could about this particular subject, because the concern was that artificial intelligence is going to transform our world, much like the Industrial Revolution transformed the world from an agrarian society into an industrial technology based society. This particular technology is going to change us, some say, into a machine based machines are going to take over, in a sense, out into the future, and we will have more free time, more time on our hands, less things to do.
Mhm.
What are the ramifications of that is highly concerning.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is already happening, and it's
Yeah.
happening at a really fast pace where AI is replacing people in jobs or work or different things. I know, like for my workflow, that I used to spend some time like doing like creating graphics and stuff for different programs, and that took a long time for me to create these graphics and to make them look nice. And I wasn't that great at it, but I did my best to make these graphics for the programs, or I would find something like we had an Armor of God program, and like someone would talk about a particular subject. So I had to go look and look and look through all this like footage that people made and see if any of it fits, like what the person's talking about. But
Mm-hmm.
now with AI, I'm able to like this graphic right here. That was made by AI. Like that whole graphic, really nice graphic. You wouldn't know
Yeah.
that, unless you knew. I tell you that because people make that really nice as well. But so like now with like our programs like a Truth Unveiled, I remember when you were talking about the image in Daniel that Nebuchadnezzar saw, and like before we had a guy who drew us a picture and we could use that picture and kind of show it. But with AI in this program, we were able to have that image and have it in 3D graphics and like film, and have it zoom in on the different parts as you're describing the different parts of the graphics. Have the stone come and hit it and destroy it into pieces. And this is all so these type of things with AI I use a lot for what we're doing, and it helps us get some results and do things that used to take a lot longer. So for me, like I do, I'm able to do more things because AI makes my job a little easier in certain respects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Jeff. Like with Chat GBT, which is one of the big AI items out there that people can use. My brother was visiting me this weekend, and he subscribes to that, $20 a month. And he creates all these graphics. He uses real pictures and then turns them into like comic pictures of people in our family. So he was showing me that. And the other thing about it is he was asking all these trivia questions to his little chat bot, and he was bringing up old Pittsburgh Steeler trivia, Bible trivia, and the voice was asking me these questions like it was someone conversing with me. And it was really interesting and kind of neat, because I learned that I could use it if I want to write a booklet for the church. It'll create an outline for me on a particular subject,
Yeah,
and then I can use that outline as a baseline to kind of fill in areas, and then put in some of my thinking and research into the outline it creates. So it can make things a lot faster for us. Yeah.
yeah. So I guess ChatGPT is, I think, is a large language model AI, and as a generative AI, just like the when we and in the ChatGPT, where I made this picture right here with ChatGPT this morning, just a few minutes before we get the program started. So it was able to give exactly what I wanted, and it looks nice, and it's going to be something to promote this program. But this just generative AI that's able to generate text, responses, or answer questions, or go, give really, pretty decent answers. Sometimes it's wrong, which
Sure.
is important, but create graphics and images, and it gets better every year. Like a year ago, I would not been able to make that image because it couldn't really do text correctly, and it couldn't really do exactly what you wanted. But now they've done better. The video generative does better, and the way and that kind of AI. this generative AI is really the AI that's really uh, transforming a lot of workplaces. Because the thing like my wife, who's an accountant, has a program that helps with the accounting in AI and does helps with those type of repetitive tasks. And in the way it works is interesting. Uh, so the way this works, and this is how I try to understand how this works, because it's not thinking like the way we think, right? When you ask ChatGPT something, it's not thinking about an answer. It's actually there's an algorithm that runs, that's looking for the best answer based on all this data that it has, and so this algorithm runs and it comes up with an answer based upon all this data to give you the what it thinks would be the correct response based on all this data. It's kind of like when you plant a seed, like a seed for a tree, right? The way God has DNA is that DNA is an algorithm, right? So we're getting into stuff kind of like what God does.
Yeah,
We,
that's what's wild about this
yeah,
is we're getting into things that are similar. Computers, for example,
yeah,
you think of God has all these files on everything. He knows everything, just like in your computer. You can click this button, this. You click that button, It's interesting. Yeah,
yeah. So again, if you plant a seed, that there's in the DNA, there's a algorithm that runs, and as it runs, you know, proteins are created and things are going, and a tree is formed as
right,
this algorithm, right? So it's the same thing where like I type in, hey, I need a picture of a tree. An algorithm runs on AI and is able to look at all the pictures of trees that it knows. It knows what a tree looks like. It uses the algorithm and it can create you a picture of a tree. So it's really interesting, but it does not think in the way that we think. It's just running an algorithm. It is intelligence, because to say that DNA is not intelligent is wrong, right? There's
right.
intelligence in DNA, but
Yeah,
that's intelligence that God put there. The intelligence that's in the AI we're using is human intelligence. We
right.
put that intelligence there. It's our intelligence, but running at a very fast pace with an algorithm, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And that's a great analogy on the fact that DNA is information, and all information we see around us, Jeff, comes from consciousness. So, therefore, the evolutionists need to answer the question, how do you get information in DNA if you don't start with some consciousness?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to get into this. Let's take it away, Jeff. Let's and to the question there about my class, it's going to be on GoToMeeting for anyone who's interested. I can send you a link. But here's what got me interested in this, Jeff. Last week, the Pope had this encyclical written called Magnifica Humanitas, and what it's dealing with, again, it's a long document. I think 42,000 words, something to that effect. And the
Hey,
point of this,
my question is, hey, did he use AI to generate it?
I don't know, I don't know, but what this means in the Latin is on safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence. And Jeff, you can go on YouTube. You're going to find lots of videos out there on various spiritual leaders who are warning us about what is to come, the ramifications of AI, not necessarily the AI we have out there right now. We're going to talk about 3 different categories of AI today, but looking out into the future, when we think of ASI and AGI, we'll talk about what we mean by that, not ANI, which is what we got right now. We're going to explain why the Pope has some concerns and
Yeah.
why we should have some concerns about. We agree with the Pope on this one.
Yes, yes. All right. Next slide.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so another popular figure in this topic is a guy named Ray Kurzweil. He's in his late 70s now, and he's one of these Silicon Valley guys. He's an entrepreneur, a writer, a computer scientist, and he wrote an interesting book called The Singularity.
Hmm.
And this is a quote in the book that I'm reading right now. He says, it's a future period, speaking about this singularity, which the pace of technological change will be so rapid, its impact so deep, that human life will be irreversibly transformed.
Hmm.
And that's what we're going to get into today, why the Pope is worried, what Kurzweil is intimating here. And
Yeah.
Jeff, we're talking about, you remember the Terminator movie, Jeff?
Yes.
This idea that the computers, the machines took over and they created their own army of cyborgs like Schwarzenegger as the Terminator,
Yeah.
who were out to destroy humanity because they were the creation taking over from their creators, which were humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that sounds biblical to me, Jeff, if you get my drift.
Yeah. Ray Kurzweil, uh, he has a motive for it when he wrote his book, and his motive is very personal motive, is that he kind of wants to live forever, but he doesn't believe in God. Right. So he believes that he's hoping that in his lifetime that AI will figure out a way for humans to live forever. Whether that's downloading a human's brain into a computer, there's problems with that we will get into, or coming up with solutions biologically to allow humans to live forever. And he believes the singularity will be that point where they'll figure that out, and humans will be able to live forever. Which again, I don't believe that's impossible, based on what I know about physics, science, and God's word. But that's just what he's kind of these people are hoping for, who are hoping that the singularity will occur.
Yeah, they're trying to get immortality, Jeff, without God. Where, someone commented in the chat box here that in a sense, they're becoming God. Hey, we want to live forever. We're not going to follow the Bible's way of living forever. We're going to create our own way of living forever. And again, that's the hubris of humanity, especially folks who don't have God on their mind and aren't following God, that, hey, we can do this.
Mhm.
And let me just say this. There was an article I was reading last night in the newspaper about some advances they've just made with pancreatic cancer, where they actually have a drug now that is going to extend the life for people who have pancreatic cancer. Now, that's a great thing. And pancreatic cancer was one of the hardest cancers that they were trying to overcome.
Right.
So again, they are making progress in a lot of different areas medically. They're talking about nanotechnology, miniature technology that can go into your body, clean out your blood vessels, do all these things,
Yeah.
and help extend life. So yeah, there's some stuff coming that we're going to be able to do, but I don't think we're going to be able to live forever.
Yeah.
I think only God can give us that. Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, there are those technologies. There are people working on extending human life. Yeah, and it's real. They're working on it, and they got results from like testing
Yeah.
they've done. So this is something that's not just theoretical anymore. This is something that's coming. It may be only to the most rich people at first, but it's something that is coming there. These life extending technologies that are out there.
Right on. Right on. Yeah. Let's continue.
All right.
And I'll let you read some of these slides, Jeff. So let us know a little bit of ANI. That's where we're at right now, Jeff.
Yeah. So artificial narrow intelligence, which is ANI, weak AI, chat bots, game algorithms, Netflix and YouTube, and image recommendation systems.
So again, many people are familiar with getting on the phone and they have some voice talking to them that
Yeah.
not necessarily from India or some other country, but
Yeah.
it's a chat bot. And you can get on the computer and these chat bots will answer some of your simple questions
Yeah.
to try to get you to not need to talk to a human. And again, these are already limiting some jobs out there.
Yeah, I guess for that call center guy again, I think I had one the other day where I talked to it, and it was so real. I was wondering, is this a person or not?
Yeah.
Right? It was this. There's a guy. He was I think he was, if I'm correct, he was British, a British scientist, computer scientist. named Alan Turing, and he worked on code breaking back in World War II, and so using algorithms and computer science towards that end. But he had written in the 1950s about this concept that is called the Turing test. Is
Mhm.
that can we distinguish, from what a computer produces and what a human does, like in a chat or something written or whatever? Is there a way that computers can pass the Turing test? And I would say they have, like as far as like with AI and for a lot of people they don't know, can't tell the difference. There's some people who are in love with their chatbots.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
yeah,
And so where they're going to go with this, Jeff, when we get to the next category,
yeah,
is they're going to create robotic humans in a sense.
yes,
And that's where it's really going to be interesting. There have been some movies about that, the Terminator.
mhm,
We're going to get to another movie I got in here somewhere. I forget the name of it.
yes,
But when that comes along where you can't tell if the robot is human or not, that's going to be a very interesting time in history. And I just wanted to mention, I got Deep Blue there on the chessboard. In the late 90s, this computer system was able to defeat the human chess champ of the world, Garry Kasparov, who was a Russian at that particular time, was the top chess grandmaster in the world. And the computer system beat him finally for the first time in the late 90s.
yeah.
So again, we've been 25 some years since then, and they aren't even messing with that anymore. They're getting into other things because the machines can beat us in these types of games.
And what's interesting, Deep Blue was a supercomputer in the 90s,
Yeah.
and what I have in my phone, right, is more powerful than what that supercomputer was back then. Think
Yeah.
about that.
That's
Think about
amazing.
how much technology increases, is that the power of your phone is more than a supercomputer was in the 90s. So we can just say this, we have really powerful supercomputers now. Who knows 10, 20 years from now what that technology will be, right? Like you said, in a robot. Uh,
Exactly.
at,
Exactly. And
all
Kurzweil
that
says in his
power.
book that they're miniaturizing these chips more and more and
Yeah,
more to put more capacity, more thinking power into them that is doing this at
yeah,
an astronomical pace.
yeah. They have like nanometer technology in these chips. So again, they were like manufacturing chips, I say, with 10 nanometers wide, and then they make them 9 nanometers, 8 nanometers, seven. I think they're getting down to two, and eventually they get to one, and they'll get even smaller. And what that is they can put more of those transistors, right, into the small space, and is able to do so much more calculations as things are miniaturized. And so that's why this phone can outdo like computers 25 years ago by far.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like what you're when I was in grade school, Jeff, we had to go to the card catalog in the library, under categories to look up subjects,
Yes.
go get the book and read. Now you just put a question in your phone and
Mhm.
boom, it spits out all this
Yeah.
information. It's just unbelievable where we've come from when I was 10 years old.
Yeah. And the thing is, like they're building all these data centers now, right? You hear in the news that they're building data centers, and there's like communities who are like, we don't want a data center because of all the power it sucks up or it raises our power bills and stuff. But they're building all these data centers so they can handle all this emerging AI technology that people are going to use, and it's going to be used, and it has all this. I mean, like we have power in our phone, but when I'm using the AI, I'm using it out in a data center somewhere. Even more
Right.
powerful computers are working on those problems for us. Uh,
Yes. Yeah, great comments on the chat box. Keep them coming. Let's continue, Jeff.
okay.
And so, again, another great example of ANI is the Waymo cars, the
Mhm.
self-driving cars that are out there right now. We might want to click to get that text in there one more time, Jeff. And then the robotics, the robot. Oh,
Yeah,
whoops, let's go back. Yeah, I guess
yeah.
the text isn't
It may have
there.
messed up when it translated. So
No,
tell me
no
what you
worries.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, but I live out here near LA,
Yeah.
and these Waymo cars, they're all over the city.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere. The first time I saw it, Jeff, I got scared because there's nobody driving the thing, and I was like, "Oh my goodness," you know. But Jeff, it stops at the red lights. It yields. If somebody jumps out in the street, it'll stop. They're giving it more information. I know there was a flood going on in some city it was
Yeah, it was
in.
Atlanta.
It was Atlanta. It drove
Atlanta.
into the water. So now they're reprogramming it for that. But once they give it that information, Jeff, these cars are going to be safer than humans because these things don't look at their phones. They don't listen to the radio. They're not eating when they're driving. And so, yeah, there are some advantages to this. The robotics, again, they'll come to work every day. They don't take sick days, Jeff, you know? So that's why we're going to be losing a lot of jobs.
Yeah, the truck driving industry is one I hear that may be a problem.
Exactly. They are testing trucks now. And so the entire, think about it, Jeff. Do you want to pay somebody health care? Do you want to pay somebody who's going to be sick certain days? Or can you get your cargo safely somewhere and you don't have to worry about them taking a break to rest? You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
so there's advantages.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen because what are the companies are out to make money?
Yeah.
And you're going to make more money if you hire less people. You don't pay for health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And then that money may come back to us. You know, government's talking about just paying people. We're going to get into that on an upcoming slide. So let's move forward.
Okay, next slide.
And talk a little bit here. This is the second category now, Jeff. And again, this is out in the future. Some say just a little bit, but go ahead and speak to this, Jeff.
Yeah, artificial general intelligence, strong AI that equal or exceeds human intelligence. And I think they're working on this right now.
Yes.
Really, really strongly. Learn, reason, adapt to new situations. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I think I read a story where somebody was working on something like this and it escaped out of its computer and was able to get out on the internet. Did you hear about that story?
No, I didn't.
Well, yeah, there was one they were working on and they had it there and it was able to figure out how to leave its closed system and get out onto the internet. So it's very,
oh boy.
Again, they can, these kind of AGIs as they're working on them can really get really clever in some of these things. And again, whether it thinks or not like we do, it's just it's like the end result. The end result looks like thinking. The end result looks like intelligence, right? Whether it is or not, that's a different debate.
Yeah, exactly. You're right on. There's some comments here, Jeff. How are they at detours? I don't know. Super Jim's being funny there, but again, Jim, once they program in, you know what a detour. Again, what Jeff said earlier about recognition of things, pictorial recognition. They teach it things through all these various pictures that if you see this, do this. If you see that, you do this. And it's working, man. I see it every time I drive into the city. These things work. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel comfortable riding in the back of one of those Waymos, but I guess one day maybe I will. I was watching with Ann while we were on the cruise ship. They had on the TV while we were waiting for something. Was that old? It's old now. Was the Will Smith movie called I, Robot?
Oh yeah,
and it was taking place in 2031, and they had robots everywhere, and they had like self-driving cars. And I'm going, this is kind of like what we're going to have in 2031. It's like this was kind of accurate. It wasn't accurate enough because the robots in this were not as smart as AI is today. Right. Oh, wow. The robots in that movie weren't as smart as how has AI is now in robots.
Right.
They can be really sophisticated in how they interact with people. I don't know if you've seen some of the robots that they've demonstrated in China. The ones
I have.
And again, they're working on a really strong, maybe more advanced than what we're doing in the United States and China. And they're creating ones with human skin and stuff. And it's just very, very, and so with that, those large language models and with all the AI, you can have a conversation with a robot and not know it's a robot as far as, unless you know it's a robot.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that, Jeff. When we talk about machine intelligence, the internet, where they're going is that these robots will be able to link into the internet. So just like your phone has all this information it can spit out at you, they're going to be able to get all that information into the robot through the
Yeah.
connection to the internet. And it's going to be a lot smarter than humans in that sense. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And again, they already have like little robots for kids that are connected to the internet, and there's I've seen like advertised. It's like a little robot will talk to the kid, tell it stories, walk around, do different things. They have them things out now, and
Yeah.
and they seem to be very intelligent as far as when they're interacting with children. So that stuff exists, and seeing the trends and how things are, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, we'll have a lot more robots working. I mean, I know McDonald's, as soon as they can figure out how McDonald's can flip them Big Macs and put them in the box, they're going to have robots doing it. You know that's right.
Yeah. Hey, last time I was in McDonald's, they have these screens there that you got to go to order now. And again, I didn't know what was going on. I wanted to walk up to the counter.
Yeah. Like now they look at you strange if you walk up to the counter.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? We got the screens out there that you got to order on. And pretty soon it'll be the robots making the food, and there'll be very few people, if any, working in some of these restaurants because they.
Yeah, I don't know if people remember the Jetsons cartoons when I was a kid. Again, they had the robot maid working in their house, and they got on these little cars that flew up in the air. Jeff, they're testing those flying vehicles now, and they're taking people within inner cities and flying them around and putting them on top of buildings to go from place to place.
All right, absolutely. So yeah, we are definitely in an interesting time. Again,
sure.
like I just think of my lifetime, the amount of change, and then I talk to older people. They're like, "Well, you don't know anything. Just how it was back in the the 30s, 40s, and 50s and stuff." Compared to
my mother just turned 90. She was born in 1936, and if you go back to 1940, 45, it was a different world, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is category number 2, AGI, and again, we're starting to move into this slowly but surely. It hasn't completely arrived yet. Strong AI, but let's go to the next slide. And again, this is back to AGI, just some examples that people are probably familiar with. I remember in the 70s there was a movie called Westworld, and the movie up above there with the female robot there, I think, is called Ex Machina. And what they do in this movie, Jeff, is this guy creates this female robot, and he has a guy come and test it to see if it seems human. And what happens at the end of the movie, Jeff, is the robot kills somebody and escapes out into the regular population.
Yeah.
And she just becomes part of the population because she's so real. They've advanced to such a degree that all kinds of things can happen relationship-wise with this robot, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. He looked human, but he had machine underneath.
Yeah, I've seen some of the robots they have that they're trying to. They use like silicon to make these faces and stuff, and they have the eyes. They're getting really good at it. And they're only going to get better. And they have the underlying technology now. We have robots that can just walk around, walk upstairs, jump, flip, do all kinds of things. Very agile robots are out there.
Definitely.
Things we wouldn't have even experienced 10 years ago, right?
Right. And it's only getting better. And the people who are smart on this subject are telling us that the reason we're talking about it, Jeff, is because these people are telling us we're going to make it look like a human, talk like a human, react like a human, feel like a human. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's continue. And we're going to get into the last category, I think, here.
Okay.
And this is the real scary one, Jeff. Mm-hmm. Artificial superintelligence, the third category, the category beyond the AGI, the stuff we're starting to get into now. And what this looks like, Jeff, if anybody saw the Terminator movie, there was a computer system in there called Skynet
Hmm.
that got so smart and so advanced that it kind of took over the world. It created robots to go back in time to do away with humanity so they could continue to take over the world in a sense. If
Yeah.
you remember Space Odyssey 2001, the computer HAL was kind of like that, where he was trying to take control
Hmm.
from the human operator there. So this is what's way down the road, and maybe not way down the road, because
Yeah.
once they get all these computers to gain intelligence from themselves, what they are saying is the computers will become so advanced that they can then do whatever they want. Any thoughts on this, Jeff? Anything you've learned about this?
What I know is that, like, with the general language learning models that they have, they do learn. That's what's called learning models. They get all that, they give them data sets, and these things learn from this data, and so they have algorithms now. They have programs that where they can learn, and so all they need is a program that can continually learn, and then just take that step where it can. Uh, and it can, and here's the thing, you we're at a point where we're really close to this, I believe. In that movie I was watching called I, Robot, Will Smith asked the robot, it says, can a robot create art? Can a robot create a symphony? And like back then we couldn't imagine that a robot could create art or create a symphony, but it can right now, right? You can use AI to create art.
Yeah.
I have a program. Another thing I use for our program is we have background music that we use when we're showing videos and stuff. I found now that I can have AI create that background music and be exactly what I want in the background music. It can create symphonic music. So again, it can these things can create. So you merge
Yeah.
that creation ability with the learning ability, and you give it the processing power, and we're not that far away from the ASI that you're.
Yeah, Jeff. There's already, you can go on YouTube and you can look, you can find bands. They'll have pictures of what the band members look like, Jeff, but it's all created by AI. Even the music is
Yeah,
created by it, and it sounds like stuff you hear on the radio.
yeah, yeah. Again, I have music in our CGI app that's a really good music. That's kind of like with our doctrinal beliefs and stuff about the Bible. And I've used AI to create it, and it sounds like people made it. You cannot tell the difference, right? This music doesn't say, it sounds like people made this music. So AI, and again, that's just the early stages,
Yeah.
right? 5 years from now, we'll be looking back at what we're doing now as like, oh, I can't believe that we thought that was advanced.
Exactly, Jeff. They're writing novels, they're writing screenplays, they're performing music. Again, it's just going to get better and better because it can suck in all the information out there to make itself better. That's the scary thing. Once it be, will it become so? So that's the thing, Jeff. Will this become self-aware? Because we talk about consciousness came
Yeah,
from God. Okay, that hey, wait a minute, there's still going to be some limitation here. Now, the people that don't believe in God, what they're saying, here's why, Jeff. They think they can go into the brain, into the mind, and map it and figure out how all these neurons and everything work in the quantum environment. Maybe we're going to get so advanced that we touch upon how God created consciousness. I don't know, Jeff, but
yeah,
that is a scare. We're going to get to that a little bit later here, what that may relate to biblically.
yeah. Again, we create these things, and I think they may have more intelligence, at least seeming intelligence, than some animals have, right?
Yeah,
So my thought is that maybe it could have intelligence, and maybe it could realize itself. It could be self aware, but it will never have what we have. We have a
right.
spirit that God put in us, the spirit of man, that makes us unique, that makes us seek seek the eternal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
that's
agree
something
with you,
we're
Jeff.
definitely different because dolphins are very smart, but they
Yeah,
don't have what we have, right?
right.
So again, it can be smart like a dolphin, but it's never going to have what we have. I believe it'll never have a spirit in these machines.
Exact. I agree with you, Jeff,
Yes.
unless it's some other spirit that manifests
Yeah.
itself. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know where I'm
Again.
going?
Yeah. Again. Yeah. We don't know how the demon world can interact with
Yeah,
technology. We don't really. We have no example of that in Scripture because there was no technology in Scripture. So
right.
so we
But
don't
we
really
do
know that.
know this.
Yeah.
We do know a demon can manifest within a human.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all speculation.
Yes.
But here's some things now to think about with ASI, the last form we were talking. What advantages there could be, Jeff?
Hmm.
There could be advantages in the healthcare industry, within science, with new discoveries, economics, predicting the markets and trends that may occur and when to buy, when to sell, the environment. Maybe it's going to come up with all that information. It's going to tell us how we can stop pollution and continue to burn fossil fuel. All these issues and problems we have in the world with this great intelligence accumulation, it may solve humans' problems, which would be good, great for us to advance in that way. That's the positive side. But we're going to get to the negative here in a moment.
Hey, here's the problem though. It could theoretically solve humans' problems, but humans are problems.
Yeah, right.
They, humans are problems in themselves, and so humans are going to use this technology, some for good, right? Like I said, what I use it for in my workplace, I'm trying to use the technology that's available to promote the gospel, to get the gospel out to people, to use those
Yeah,
technologies for that. But again, there's people that's going to use this for evil, right?
exactly.
People already probably, I'm sure they do. They use this for pornography, right? And
Yeah,
they probably generate all kinds of whatever terrible things with pornography, with this type of technology and stuff, and will only get better as things get better, right? Uh,
right.
and again, I think about the days of Noah, right? In the days of Noah, people's minds were continually set on evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a world where you don't work and all you have is this, AI to entertain you, entertain your fantasies that you're
Free time. Free time
yeah,
is, what do they say about idle hands or what for the devil?
the devil's work, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So as again, there's a sense that a lot of this is going to be used for evil, and because of human nature, we're just going to use it towards sinful things more than 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 uh, than for good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Ant Am Ant Am Wolf says send a robot to slap the neighbor. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. If they create human-like robots, can you program it to go kill someone?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like I said, they could create, like, there's the laws of robotics that's out there. Like a robot's not allowed to harm a human. That's theoretical laws of robotics.
Okay.
Again, like I have a phone and they can hack my phone to make it do different things, right?
Right.
Of course, people are going to hack robots and have them go kill people. That's like some of the first things people are going to do when they get robots, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, so these are going to happen. They're going to use robots in war, right? Instead of
Right.
soldiers.
Hey, they're doing it with the drones already. In a
Yeah.
sense, there's speculation that they're going to create these drone swarms where they send like 1,000 drones at once to attack a battleship group. And again, you can knock out some of the drones, but when there's 1,000 coming at once, some are going to get through. So the idea of our military strategies today are going to go out the window in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I can see why the CIA was like interested in
Yeah,
this, because this is going to change the world. It's going to change security amongst nations as we know it. Because I mean, I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet, where some terrorist or evil like country out there who doesn't like us have not used a drone to send something nuclear to us, or send
that
something devastating, or use it for terrorism, because they eventually will.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, you're hitting on things that the Central Intelligence Agency was worried about when they looked out into the future and were reading what these scientists were telling them. You know, we gotta protect against all of this. What are we gonna do?
Right.
Okay, so just a couple other things I wanted to throw in there that are also related to all this is in the world of computing, they're getting into quantum computing. We don't have time to get into the details, but that's such an advanced state of computing that it moves so much quicker and faster and has so much more computational power than our most advanced computers today, that this is a reason why we may be able to solve some inextricable problems that humanity is dealing with today when you start to read up on quantum computing. Nanotechnology, we talked a little bit about that earlier. Jeff, you want to say anything about that?
The nanobots, they're working on it, and again with AI and with the advances, they probably will get a lot better at this within the next few years. That they just get better and better, and at some point they'll be testing nanobots to fight viruses, or testing nanobots to fight cancer, or like you mentioned earlier, clean arteries, or
Yeah.
do things that are beneficial, and they may, they may work, and they may do what they're supposed to do. Uh, Again, and we have to think about that, ethically. Is that something we want to embrace, or is it something that, hey, that's just too far, going too far, trying to be like God in those type of things?
Yeah, just so people understand, in Kurzweil's book on the singularity, he talks about nanotechnology like going into the body and then manipulating DNA, Jeff, where,
Yeah,
our cells eventually die as we get old. But what they're talking about is with the nanotechnology, it'll be able to go into the body and kind of reconfigure the cells to give you younger cells through the nanotechnology, so your body will keep updating itself every 10 years or so to advance the age dramatically. Now, accidents can happen and you can die, but the possibilities will exist where we can advance our age into the hundreds and hundreds of year time frame,
yeah. I guess, yeah. What happens in the cells is the reason we do age is that there's DNA in each of our cells, and they what they do is they code for different proteins that keep the cell maintained, keep it running. Like our skin cells, they have to replace the skin cells with new skin cells,
Right.
right? Every so often. And what happens over time is that coding kind of gets shifted a little bit, or kind of gets off. It's not
Right.
it's not as it was at the beginning. It's precise. It's doing it. As it gets older, it's not doing it quite the way it did it the first. So your
Right.
skin looks older, right? The reason it looks older is because it's not making it the way it was at the beginning. So if you can get the cells to go back to that beginning uh, process, which we have stored in our DNA, like, yeah, you could theoretically, right, make young skin, make young parts of us and stuff.
Yeah, they've done experiments with mice, Jeff, that are getting into some of that already.
Yeah,
And they're making mice live longer. So the obvious idea there is, well, hey, if we can do it with this living thing, we can do it with humans.
yeah. I think they have a drug that they're working on that can reverse the cell damage in cells, and so that combined with nanotechnology, I mean, it's going to be out there. It's not a matter of like if it's going to happen. It's like, when will it happen?
Yeah.
These things will happen. The last thing you have on here, which is interesting, uploading human consciousness to a machine, right? Eternal life. Now, I've thought about this. Now, think about it. Say I can sit right here and I can have a link from my brain in this computer and put my brain into my phone, right?
Right.
I'm still here. There's going to be a copy of my brain in the computer, but my spirit, who I am, is always going to be here, right?
Yeah.
There's no way to transfer the spirit in man into a machine. I think that's
I
impossible.
agree. I agree with you, Jeff. They are putting chips into human brains now to help people with movement of their body and things.
Yeah,
So there's some stuff that's out there that it's real close to these ideas. But again, I still feel that these guys who don't believe in God don't understand that the spiritual element is something different. But again, what could Satan do if we get that close? Again, I don't know. I don't know. But the speculation is interesting. We're going to show you a couple slides in a minute at the end here. But let's move on, Jeff. We're running out of time here.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting conversation we're having, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Now there was a book I read a few years ago. It was called
Yeah.
Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. He's a professor at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And in this book, Jeff, he talks about a lot of the things we're discussing, what AI is going to be bringing. And what he gets into are three major concepts: that humans are going to create their own happiness, humans are going to create immortality, and humans are going to become God in a sense. Now, each of those three subjects that he addresses in this book, Homo Deus, again, Homo from the idea we're Homo sapiens, and then Deus, the idea of God, that man is going to become God in a sense because we're going to transform. Again, think about number one, if we get rid of all these jobs and these companies make so much money that the government then pays people to not work, what's that going to do to us from a spiritual standpoint? Oh, it looks great, but is it? Are we going to have anxiety or depression because we got too much time on our hands? Are we going to get into bad things because we got too much time on our hands? And then the second thing, eternal life or extended life, immortality. Only God says you can get that from him, that there's either death or eternal life only from God. Well, these scientists, this book is saying, no, humans can do that. And then the third thing he gets into is, hey, if we're immortal, we're gods then. You know, if we can download our spirit or our intellect into the computer and let it exist forever, we've become God in a sense. And so it's very interesting where these guys are going who don't believe in God in their speculation as they look out into the future. Very interesting book.
Yeah, like put our brain in a robot body, right? A body
Yeah.
yeah, because that I'm sure people have thought about it. I've seen this in science fiction. We've seen people imagine what it would be like, perhaps. Uh, Again, it's very we're at a time now where as Daniel says, knowledge will be increased at the end of the age. Yeah, I don't know where we're at in that, but we are at a point where knowledge is definitely increased and increases exponentially.
Yeah,
Uh,
isn't that an interesting scripture
yeah,
about where we are right now in history with knowledge and information and how important it is and where it's going?
mhm.
And Daniel saying that, hey, that would be the time when things are going to get haywire.
Yeah.
So here's a picture of Harari. And
Okay.
again, those three elements that he addresses in the book, which are that the Bible tells us God, through our relationship with God, we're going to get those things, but only through that relationship.
Yeah. Again, these are atheists trying to figure out a way to be eternal, not knowing that God has already given us a way. Right? He's
Yeah.
already given us a way.
But
And
isn't that
it's
interesting that even the people that don't believe in God are seeking the same thing that God can give us? Yeah.
Yeah, again, because I mean, I think at least it's hardwired in me. Like I want to survive, I want to live on, I want to continue to do things right, forever, right? Like that's in me. It's like I want to do whatever it is. I want to continue to do stuff and continue to that's built into us. I think that
Yeah.
desire to do that, and I think that's being shown in these ideas. But again, the technologies are getting there.
Yes, they are. They are. So again, here's the spiritual ramifications for each of these three categories of artificial intelligence that we addressed. So Jeff, I'll let you read this one.
All right, so this is ANI. And what does the ANI stand for again?
Artificial natural intelligence.
Artificial natural intelligence. So massive job loss, anxiety, depression, free time can be good and bad. No need for jobs, good and bad. Again, yeah, and like I said, there's people who spend a lot of their time online on their phones, uh, unfortunately, a lot of males spend too much time with pornography and those type of things, and if will just only increase as this happens, right? When people have more free time, less, and again, and when we work, right, work gives us a purpose, right? God,
Right.
yeah, we have purpose. We do things. We're working. It's part of what is a good thing to work, right? It's part of like what we're trying to be like God. God worked. God
Right.
created the universe. God wants us to be like Him. And if we don't work, like what are we?
Exactly, exactly. If they take that away, I'm sorry, that's artificial narrow intelligence, ANI, narrow intelligence. My
Artificial narrow
mistake.
intelligence. All right,
Okay,
gotcha.
okay. So let's go to the second one and look at some spiritual ramifications. So again, Jeff, I'll let you read this one.
And this one I think is artificial general intelligence, right?
Yeah,
All right. So decreased human to human interaction. Right. Again, like you see the picture of the guy waking up next to the robot. There's already a problem with a lot of males, young males, who will not interact with women because they can get their gratification online. And if they can have like a robot girlfriend they can pay for, or
yeah.
maybe even supplied to them for free, like they'll take it, right?
Exactly, Jeff. And that is the scary thing here. That, believe it or not, Jeff, according to what I'm reading, you're going to be able to satisfy your sexual side through technology rather than a real human getting married and having children. Hey, I don't want to worry about those kids. I don't Again, what does God say? Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
Have a relationship with a woman or a man, depending upon who you are. Have children, have family. Again, if you're doing that and you're doing it with technology, Jeff, we're going against God's mandate.
Yeah. Again, and it's like uh pornography taken into the third dimension or whatever. It's still pornography if you have a robot that looks like a woman that you're, getting gratification from. That's still pornography. That's still porneia. That's still going to hurt you spiritually. It's still going to make you depressed. It's still going to cause all these different problems that are associated with this. Right? It's going to cause so many issues with people that they're not going to get happiness out of this. It's going to be
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Again, we've got some comments here about raising a family. It's good for you. Again, Jeff, it is hard work. Being married is hard work. Having children is hard work, but you grow, you learn, you develop spiritually from it also. Now, listen, I know some people can't have children. I know some people have been single their entire life. That doesn't diminish their humanity at all. Again, but what I'm saying is, when God created us, He wanted us to advance and have more because He wants to increase that family of beings out into the future that He wants.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So again, yeah. So this, reduction in people. There's going to be less people because of
Yeah.
this, and the sexual relations are going to be just just horrific, right? It's just just this right here is just going to cause so much societal
Yeah,
damage.
psychological problems are going to increase when as this comes. Yeah, yeah, for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. All right, and then you have the spiritual ramifications for ASI, which is what is that ASI again?
Artificial super intelligence. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
artificial super intelligence. All right, and
So
so
I just put some scriptures here, Jeff, and I know you're familiar with these scriptures. So again, I want you to comment here, but Genesis 1:28, back in the garden, God said, have dominion over, the created world. But Jeff, we're creating a world that's going to have dominion over us. When
yeah,
you get to this level, the Tower of Babel, again, they were all together with one language, and all that brain power was being used, and there was something wrong there. Again, we don't have all the details, but that's when God stepped in, Jeff. And that's my concern: as we get smarter and advance, I think that's when God is going to have to step in to stop us. And then the last thing I saw as a link here, and I'll let you comment, is when I read those scriptures pertaining to Satan, that he wanted to be higher than God. He wanted to usurp God's throne.
Mhm.
Are we doing that now as humans? Are we taking the place? We're so smart. We've got so much hubris that we're taking the place of God. If we don't believe in God, we can be God.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts, Jeff?
Thinking about Genesis 11 about the Tower of Babel, uh, this basically it says, like, I think it says that if that did not happen, man would have just advanced to where we're at now, and may have been really quickly. They would have been able to combine knowledge, and they would have. And God did not want that at that time. He did not
Right.
want He did not want man advancing at that rate of knowledge. But He's allowing it now, isn't He? He's allowing
Yeah.
it now, and I think we don't really know how advanced people were before the flood, because that all got washed away, right?
Right.
That all got washed. So before the flood could have been very advanced as well. We just don't know how.
Yeah. Hey, those pyramids are very interesting how they put that together.
Yeah, yeah. We don't know what technology existed before the flood, because God doesn't want us to, because that's why He washed it away, right? He doesn't want us to know what happened. He all that stuff was evil. People were continually dwelling on evil, and God said, "I got to destroy them, because this is not what I've created man for." So we're getting to another point like that, right? Where, again, except for the church, people will generally become like the Tower of Babel, or like the time of Noah, the days of Noah, where people are going to continually move towards evil.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jeff, think about it. You got Elon Musk and Theo and these different guys. They're telling us that, hey, we need to maybe put a stop on AI because of what could come in the future. We got to be careful with this. But Jeff, once it's out there, do you think everybody's going to stop? You think the Chinese are going to stop when they are a communist society that doesn't believe in God? They're not going to stop.
yeah.
And so, therefore, the U.S. has to keep pace, or we're going to be in jeopardy as a nation.
Right. So yeah, it's just it's something that's developing, and we really don't we're speculating, right?
Yeah.
I think we're speculating based on like current trends and based
Yes.
on knowledge and things we read. So we think that what we're saying is most likely some of these things are going to occur in the future, and we're like, now how does this apply to God's word? How does this apply towards the end times or return of Christ? That's what we really don't know, but we got to really be aware that these could be something that leads up to that.
Yeah, that's it, Jeff. We don't know. Again, we can't know about the beast or the image of the beast. But hey, those are interesting scriptures when you think about what AI is telling us is coming.
Yeah, did you have that here, Revelation 13:15?
Yeah, go ahead and read that, Jeff.
Yeah, Revelation 13:15 says the second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed.
So again, all speculation here, Jeff. But when we talk about AI and creating robots that are the image of humans, that are exactly like, you can't tell the difference, that's some interesting language there in relation to the beast power and what AI can bring us in the future.
Yeah, and again, and sometimes prophecies have dual fulfillments or
Yeah.
fulfillment in different ways. In other words, I think a lot of times the general consensus or thoughts of the Church of God was this is talking about the Roman Empire system, and
Yeah.
that the image of that system is the Catholic Church, who are very much set up in the same image of this beast, and they operate like a beast in a sense. That there's that, but also there's maybe a literal literal thing of like an image of a beast or image of someone. That like say a great leader dies somewhere, and they're able to say, "Hey, we took this leader's uh, consciousness and we put it into this robot. He's still going to lead. He's still going to lead this
Yeah.
nation or this thing through this robot."
So, Jeff, think about that from the ASI perspective.
Yeah,
That system can now solve the poverty problem or the cancer problem, or oh my goodness, let's get the answers to everything from. Look, it solved cancer. We don't have poverty. I took care of pollution. You get what I'm saying here?
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. We need a new economic system. Oh, it creates this economy that even the poor are now given enough to eat. again, is that not going to get people behind? You get what I'm saying here? It
Yeah.
just some speculation here.
The idea of an AI economy is something that's very interesting because again, if like robots are doing the work, if robots are on the farms raising raising animals, raising crops, if they're if all this is being done by robots and AI, and there's very few people working, there has to be an economy, or there's no money, there's no incentive for companies to do anything if nobody can pay for it, right?
Yeah.
If nobody can pay for their trip to McDonald's to get their robot made burgers or whatever. If you can't pay, so again, there's got to be some new type of economy that we haven't thought of yet that
Yeah,
may
yeah,
integrate
no
AI.
doubt, no doubt. With the self-driving trucks and cars, you got the people who got to program it. You got the people that got to change the tires, and so that's going to go forward with people work. But there's going to be less people. You're not going to need all those taxi drivers or truck drivers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. All right, I think we have one more slide, and we can, I guess, start towards the finish.
Yeah.
Revelation
Yeah.
13.
So go ahead and read that one too, Jeff.
All right, Revelation 13, 16 through 17. And the second beast required all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of its name.
So again, we're speculating here, but there's some economic connection to
Yeah.
this system. And so that's what I'm getting at. When we look at AI, Jeff, no doubt a big piece of this is the world economy
Mm-hmm.
and the interrelatedness of everything to that. So again, we're moving into that brave new world where these scriptures may have some resonance, you know?
Yeah, again, and we're already in a world economy, right?
Yeah.
Because again, something happens in the Middle East, and it's the gas is $5 or whatever it is
Right.
a gallon.
Hey, it's $6 out here.
Yeah. We have this economy that's based on things, and this it seems like this economy at the end has to do with this mark of the beast, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. I mean, there's been definitely different ideas passed along, but honestly, we really don't know. But we do know this, that it is economically based. It is
Right.
economically related from what it says right here, and it's something that Christians, that those who follow God, do not want to are not supposed to be a part of. We're supposed to not take that mark. We're not supposed to be a part of that system at all.
Right. Right. Now, listen, I did not see the movie Interstellar. I heard it was pretty interesting, but one of our folks in the chat box is commenting that movie relates to human behavior with AI robots also. So again, a lot of interesting movies out there that if this is new to you, you see a Terminator movie or Interstellar or Ex Machina or I, Robot.
Yeah.
Again, it'll start to give you these ideas of what we believe is coming down the road.
Yeah, it's definitely we live in interesting times.
Yeah.
By far.
Right.
Again, things we may cover on future programs is there keeps coming out things we never would have thought would happen that are there.
Yeah, it's just, when you read some of these books, Jeff, like I'm reading Kurzweil's book. I'm going to read another one of his, and I have read another few books on AI. Some of this stuff, I remember seeing the movie where they sent the little capsule into somebody's body to fix
Right.
something. And it's like, that's nanotechnology. These ideas in science fiction years ago, Jeff, they're coming to fruition. Jules Verne talked about submarines and things like that years before that ever became real, but it became real. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, so again, would our program prove all things? We just got to, say that a lot of this is speculation, but a lot of this is going to happen, and we as Christians, we have to start thinking and looking in God's Word and trying to say, hey, how do we fit into this new world?
Yeah.
systems. Like, how do we fit in?
And what should we stay away from with
Right.
this new world? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because it is that brave new world as was in that book, right? That we are entering into right now, and it's only changing at a super dynamic rate that it's hard to keep up with. Hard to keep
Yeah,
up with those things.
definitely.
All right. Anything else you have before we get finished here?
That's all I got. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate all the comments from people today that are out there, and for everybody watching and tuning in. We thank you for definitely joining us live, and I guess we'll see everybody next week.
Yes.
Next week on another edition of Prove All Things. So goodbye for now. Goodbye, everyone.